The afternoon sun cast long shadows across Lincoln High School's courtyard when 17-year-old Ethan Rodriguez felt his world crumble with just 7 words. Sarah Chun had just told him she was dating someone else. As he walked away with his heart pounding and eyes stinging, he had no idea that in exactly 40 minutes, his identical triplet brothers would experience the exact same devastating moment with the exact same girl. What happened next would transform their shared heartbreak into something beautiful that none of them saw coming. Ethan was the first to arrive home that Thursday, his backpack hitting the floor with unusual force as he trudged up to his bedroom. 20 minutes later, Diego burst through the front door, his usually perfect hair disheveled and his confident smile completely absent. The final blow came when Carlos walked in 30 minutes after that, moving like he was carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Their mother, Maria Rodriguez, had raised 3 sons who were identical in every physical way but completely different in personality. Ethan was the artist, spending hours sketching and painting in his corner of their shared bedroom. Diego was the athlete, captain of the soccer team with trophies lining his side of the room. Carlos was a scholar, already accepted to 3 universities with a stack of academic awards proudly displayed above his desk. Despite their differences, the 3 had never competed over anything that truly mattered, until Sarah Chun transferred to their school 6 months ago. Sarah was extraordinary in ways that drew each brother for different reasons. She joined the art club where she and Ethan spent hours discussing color theory and composition. She became the soccer team's photographer, traveling with Diego to every away game and capturing his best moments on camera. She tutored struggling students in calculus, where Carlos discovered she was not only brilliant but passionate about helping others succeed. Each brother had fallen for her completely, but none had told the others about their feelings. They had each been planning to ask her to the upcoming spring formal, each believing they had a special connection with her that the others didn't share. The silence in the Rodriguez household that evening was deafening. Maria noticed immediately that something was wrong. Her boys, who usually filled the house with laughter, arguments about whose turn it was to do dishes, and the constant sound of music or sports commentary, were all hiding in their room without speaking. Around 9 o'clock, she couldn't take it anymore. She knocked on their bedroom door and found 3 identical faces wearing identical expressions of heartbreak. "What's wrong with you boys?" she asked in Spanish, switching to their family's native language, as she always did when she was concerned. The truth came out in fragments. Ethan admitted first that Sarah had rejected him. Diego's eyes widened in recognition, and he confessed his own identical experience. Carlos, realizing what was happening, shared his own devastating conversation with Sarah from earlier that afternoon. The room fell silent as the 3 brothers stared at each other, processing the impossible coincidence. They had all been rejected by the same girl on the same day, each having worked up the courage to finally express feelings they had been harboring for months. For a moment, it seemed like this revelation might drive them apart. Diego clenched his fists, Ethan's face flushed with embarrassment, and Carlos looked like he might be sick. But then something unexpected happened. Ethan started laughing, not a bitter or sarcastic laugh, but a genuine sound of disbelief and absurdity. "I can't believe we all fell for the same girl, and we're all sitting here looking like someone stole our lunch money." Diego joined in, shaking his head at the situation. "Of course this would happen to us. We share everything else. Why not a crush?" Carlos, ever the analytical one, sat up straighter. "Wait, guys. Don't you think it's kind of amazing that we all saw something special in the same person? That says something about Sarah, doesn't it? And about us?" Their mother smiled from the doorway, watching her sons begin to process their shared experience. She had seen them support each other through everything from broken bones to failed tests, but this was different. This was the first time they had experienced real romantic heartbreak, and she was proud to see them handling it together rather than letting it divide them. Over the next few days, the brothers began talking more openly about their feelings for Sarah and what had drawn each of them to her. They realized that while they had each connected with different aspects of her personality, they all admired the same core qualities: her kindness, her intelligence, and her genuine care for other people. That's when Carlos had an idea that would change everything. What if we told her the truth? Not to try to change her mind, but just to let her know what an impact she's had on all of us. And what if we did something to show her we're grateful for the friendship she's given each of us? The plan they developed over the following week was unlike anything the Rodriguez triplets had ever attempted. They decided to organize a surprise appreciation event for Sarah, not as a romantic gesture, but as a celebration of the kindness she had shown to so many people at their school. Ethan designed and painted a beautiful banner featuring portraits of students Sarah had helped throughout the year. Diego coordinated with the soccer team to create a photo montage of all the games she had covered as their photographer. Carlos worked with the tutoring center to collect testimonials from students whose grades Sarah had helped improve. But the most meaningful part of their plan was what they did together. They spent hours interviewing classmates, teachers, and staff members about small acts of kindness Sarah had performed. They discovered she had been quietly helping the custodial staff clean up after events, bringing homemade lunches to students who couldn't afford the cafeteria meals, and staying after school to help teachers organize their classrooms. On the Friday before spring formal, they put their plan into action. With permission from the principal, they transformed the school's main hallway into a gallery celebrating Sarah's kindness. The banner Ethan painted served as a centerpiece, surrounded by Diego's photo displays and Carlos's collection of thank you notes from students and teachers. When Sarah arrived at school that morning, she was overwhelmed. Students and teachers stopped her in the hallway to thank her for things she had done that she never expected anyone to notice. The three brothers watched from a distance as she moved through the display, reading each note and studying each photograph with tears in her eyes. At lunch, they finally approached her together. Sarah looked at the three identical faces and immediately understood what had happened. "You all asked me out last week, didn't you?" she said softly. The brothers nodded, each feeling a mix of embarrassment and pride. "I figured it out when I realized the timing," Sarah continued. "I felt terrible having to turn each of you down, especially because I care about all of you so much. But I'm dating someone from my old school. We've been together for 2 years, and I should have mentioned it sooner." Ethan stepped forward first. "We're not here to try to change your mind. We just wanted you to know that getting to know you has made all of us better people." Diego nodded. "You've taught us about kindness without even trying. The way you treat everyone around you has inspired us to be more like that." Carlos added, "We realized that having feelings for the same person brought out the best in each of us. We all wanted to be worthy of someone as amazing as you, and that made us work harder and care more about others." Sarah wiped away tears as she looked at the three brothers who had turned their shared heartbreak into a celebration of kindness. "This is the most beautiful thing anyone has ever done for me. Not because of the decorations or the photos, but because you turned something that could have made you rivals into something that brought you closer together." The story of the Rodriguez triplets and their shared crush became legendary at Lincoln High School, but not for the reasons you might expect. It wasn't remembered as a tale of romantic rejection, but as an example of how heartbreak can be transformed into something meaningful when approached with maturity and brotherly love. Sarah remained close friends with all three brothers throughout their senior year. She attended Ethan's art show, cheered at Diego's championship soccer game, and celebrated when Carlos graduated as valedictorian. At graduation, she told their mother that knowing the triplets had taught her that the best relationships in life aren't always romantic ones. The brothers learned that shared vulnerability can strengthen bonds rather than create competition. They discovered that supporting each other through disappointment creates deeper connections than shared success ever could. Most importantly, they realized that when you choose kindness over rivalry, everyone wins. Years later, when people ask the Rodriguez triplets about their high school experience, they don't talk about the heartbreak of being rejected by their shared crush. Instead, they talk about the day they learned that true strength comes from lifting others up, even when you're feeling down yourself. Their story reminds us all that life's most difficult moments often contain the seeds of our greatest growth. When we choose compassion over competition and kindness over resentment, we transform not only our own experience, but the lives of everyone around us. If this story touched your heart and reminded you of the power of choosing kindness, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to Pure Kindness Stories for more inspiring tales of human compassion. Share this story with someone who needs to be reminded that even our most challenging moments can become opportunities to spread love and understanding. Together, we can create a world where kindness always wins.